I've been using the term getting my back blown out wrong. I've been telling everybody I'm getting my back blown out. I just found out what it means. Dang it.
Hey, fun fans, it's We Enjoy. We've got news and we've got Youse for you this week. So let's get to it. We are the Mattitude Eric. I am Matt Fowler. Say hello, Eric Goldman.
Hello, everybody. We're crossing our fingers our internet holds up because we were having some issues a moment ago.
It's on my end. Eric said he had internet problems 2 days ago, but what does that mean for us now? Nothing. Right now, it's all me because I woke up this morning and got myself a gun. No, I woke up this morning and had bad internet. And rewatching She-Hulk, showing my girlfriend the show for the first time, and just got through Wong and Madison's Soprano marathon.
Yay! You said you went into a totally different song because when you said woke up this morning, I'm like, woke up this morning feeling fine. I instantly go into Drebin.
I was gonna say, are you doing the "Something Tells Me I'm Into Something Good"
song?
Oh,
yes, I am. Yes,
all right. They didn't use that in the new movie, right? I mean, there was a different montage. Obviously.
No, yeah, they did a different montage.
They should have done one, but like a Limp Bizkit cover. Limp Bizkit, chocolate starfish. You're into something. I'm into something.
I saw Akiva speak recently at a pop star screening. I should have told him that was his big mistake.
It's like, you want to know why your movie got a triple fart minus from Eric Goldman?
That's why.
Okay. We've got some news, most of it, right? Coming from the upfronts, all of it?
No, I mean, I don't think any of it.
Not even the Fast and Furious series definitely came from the upfronts.
No, that came from Cannes.
But Vin Diesel was like standing next to Jimmy Fallon, wasn't he?
Did he also? I didn't see that.
I think he did it. I think they did a presentation for Peacock. Also, I don't know what came first though.
I don't know. All I knew is he was at Cannes this week.
Well, why wouldn't Vin Diesel be at Cannes?
He was at Cannes because they did the 25th anniversar screening of the Fast and Furious.
I would hope that he would be a judge at Cannes. I would hope he'd be like judging movies based on how much they're about family.
The family meter.
He's like, we don't know where the news first broke, but we do know which news story we're doing first, and that is the Fast and Furious series.
I want to say you are correct. So I guess he was at the upfronts Monday, and then like a day or two later, he was at Cannes. What a jet-setting life, like Dom Toretto he's living.
Well, the fast part of Fast and Furious is not a hyperbole. He lives fast, a quarter mile at a time, you might say, which sounds absolutely terrible. Fast and Furious series, don't know the details, except, obviously Vin Diesel's an executive producer on this series. It's funny that we're getting this announcement that a show is being developed for Peacock. We don't know what corner of the Fast and Furious universe this will take place in, or who will be in it, or if it's just about tech, or if it's just, we don't know what's going on. But we do know that there's a good chance it'll happen before the next Fast and Furious movie comes out. So, with that huge cliffhanger, are they going to use the show to answer the cliffhanger? I don't know.
We'll see. 4 cliffhangers, and yes, I hope that they go through them one by one. What made me laugh about this was, first off, reading the quotes, which were, you could just hear Diesel. And as someone who's had the pleasure of hearing Vin Diesel talk on stage and go on and on and on, got at CinemaCon one time, it was for Fast X, he just wouldn't stop. Because, he talks about this series, which we love, but like he talks about it with like such self-reverence.
It's weird because it's like, you want the star and producer and creative force behind these movies to be like, man, you want them to love it, obviously, and to be. But we find out with Vin Diesel that it's possible for that love to be uncomfortable,
yes,
and to be too much, and to be like, you need to actually dial back your adoration for this thing that you're in.
Less love.
Nobody likes it as much as you.
But my favorite thing was that he said, the news that I have here today is that Peacock is launching 4 shows.
Yes, absolutely. It's funny because Variety is like, Diesel said that 4 shows were in the works. But obviously with the situation now confirmed, it's only one.
It's one. It's one. Which I'm sure 4 ideas were bandied about of like, which one are we doing? But they're not greenlighting they're not like Yellowstoning this shit instantly. Yellowstone didn't Yellowstone instantly. Like they,
But it's funny because maybe this is what you wanted. Maybe he meant 4 series, 4 shows, because they're answering all 4 cliffhangers in different shows.
There you go. There you go. All right. That actually does solve everything. But I did love that because all the trades had to say, actually, the thing he said is not true. So it's so funny that he would say that. Why would he say that? There's no way he could not have believed that they were making 4 shows.
I don't know, but I now imagine like a weird thumbnail for some YouTube clip with Vin Diesel wearing a dunce cap, and it's making me laugh. Obviously, someone would probably just make it with AI, but you used to just do it with Photoshop. Damn it. Okay.
I mean, again, we've talked. The reason they will eventually make Fast 11 or Fast 10 Part 2, whatever they call it, is because it is such a viable franchise, and as much as it did drop on the last one, it dropped to like what, 700 million. It's not like no one was seeing it, and they will make that movie at some point. It's just the longer it takes, the funnier it is that it had all these cliffhangers. Again, one involving a little kid that will not be a little kid if they try to use the same actor anymore. So they're making this TV show. It's still a name brand for them. They're about to open a ride at both parks because they're building it, one in Orlando too. So yeah, it's important to them. Here's a show as well. I'm sure that they're like, Vin, can you cameo on the show and all that? But it's just a strange thing. And you always also feel that Universal must feel a little held hostage because he is the face of the franchise, and he's just always like,
I mean, I'm not saying that this show is going to be a hit. It's going to get a lot of buzz and a lot of hype and a lot of interviews and stuff. Ultimately, it's on Peacock, though. It can only go so big. But it is a chance to introduce a new face. It won't be successful, but they could launch a new face. This is how he should cameo on the show. It should be they should have a Knight Rider car. They should have a kit, and he should be the voice of the car. And that's how Vin Diesel should be on the Fast and Furious series.
But it's like Dom has actually been turned into a car.
However you want to get to him voicing a car, sure.
Here's what he said. He says, after I blew up when Dante...
they saved my brain.
There you go. That's one cliffhanger solved.
By the way, no Fast and Furious fan would mind this at all. Like, you will not hear one peep of protest.
All right, I'm in. That sounds great.
I feel like this is probably the best idea that anyone could think of going forward with that last movie. Okay. Any more upfronts news? Anything to talk about? Before we move on to the next, I guess we still have TV stuff to talk about. But...
I mean, I don't know what it's so funny because upfronts are so nebulous to me now, and it used to be like a big part. I'd go and cover them in person.
It's so weird because network TV is so nebulous now,
right?
Anyway,
but now the way they do it, like instead of having the ABC upfront, it's the Disney upfront that covers all things Disney and gave like Vision premiere date in October.
Yeah,
and
that's right. Vision Quest is premiering in October. What is I think the Rockford Files with David Boreanaz is NBC, right?
Got officially greenlit. So,
and also, I mean, look, it's probably a good show, and I want to see it. Which is Sunset PI, right, with Jake Johnson and Jane Levy and Keith David. That looks fun. I mean,
and those are people. Yeah, those are people we like. And someone good is making that show, and I can't remember who. But yeah, and Rockford Files. So David Boreanaz, who's been on television since 1997, never goes more than a year without being on television.
Do you think Dermot Mulroney will cameo? That's just a joke for old channel surfing listeners, by the way.
We've had a couple callbacks
to Dermot Mulroney. Okay,
yes, I can only hope that he can say in a different life. Oh, that's right.
Did you see the picture I sent? I don't know if you check your Instagram messages, but I sent you Melissa Barrera's Instagram.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so she's doing a Titanic stage musical and sort of a comedy Titanic based stage musical in New York right now. And she said, I had the most fun visitors to the show this week. And it was fun, people like Ariana Grande and stuff. But the leading picture is her with Dermot Mulroney, like the Scream Sixers,
I love it.
Looking very much like they're in the theater that the climax of that movie.
Yeah, because it just can't help look like that. I did see that and I did appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, that's right. Okay, so the Jane Levy, Jake Johnson show does have good people involved. Dan Gore, co-creator of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes, that's right.
And Akiva Schaffer, who I just mentioned, directed the pilot. He mentioned that on the Lonely Island podcast.
This is so good. Jake Johnson's so funny. So I always want something, when we watch like a Happy Endings or a New Girl or something like that, and you're like, these performers are so funny and they're being so well utilized right here that the next thing they go to, you want them to be as good, right? Like well utilized, which is why, who's the actor who plays Schmidt?
Max Greenfield.
He's so great. Obviously, Schmidt is amazing. And then, he gets a great working gig on a CBS sitcom that I'm not going to watch, right? Like for years.
You mean the one that just wrapped up its 9-season run?
9th season, where I'm sure like his comic potential was massively wasted on that show, being just some idiot, right? So like those people, when you see them, it's like, I want it to be so good, just like it was, and it never quite is. This is hopeful though for Jake Johnson.
But hey, I mean, one day, so the Neighborhood is the name of his show, which is coming.
Cedric the Entertainer, right?
Yes. I don't know, but one day you're gonna watch it and you're gonna fucking love it. I'm sorry.
I do stump for Stumptown though, the one and done canceled show.
Yes.
That Jake Johnson was on as a supporting character.
I'm sorry. I apologize. The Neighborhood is ending with a pathetic 8-season run, not 9.
I didn't know it was a failure. Oh.
Right. You know what? This is not the same kind of actor we're talking about, because we're talking about like specific kind of comedic actors. But it's funny when you see, again, the only reason I watch CBS is because of Survivor. But when I do, then I get to see commercials for CBS procedurals and this whole other world, the world where there's 10 shows and the FBI franchise and, all these different things. And where I get to find out like where actors have ended up, where it's like, oh, that makes sense. Like Jeremy Sisto is on a CBS procedural.
That's what I'm talking about. When people disappear onto TV shows that you never watched for like a decade, and like what happened to this guy, and then like you just answered that. There are shows that I think I would enjoy if I had more time in my life for weekly stories, like The Elsbeths, like Matlock, and High Potential, which I hear is great. Good fun, like mystery solving show.
High Potential, which just got new showrunners, which I will mention only because it's like they've had a weird few months of busyness, it's the sisters who wrote the Buffy pilot that obviously didn't go and are now writing Scream 8. Are gonna take over that show. Going to take over High Potential going forward, which of course at the same time has Drew Goddard as the creator of that show. So
these are all good names. All right, let's get into further down the news list here. So the joke here is that Aaron Paul joins Jonathan Nolan, Lisa Joy shows in season 3.
Sci-fi future
because of Westworld. Because of Westworld, which Deadline got wrong because they said Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy cast Aaron Paul in their final season of Westworld. It was the final 2 seasons. It was it was 3 and 4. Stupid Deadline. Anyway, he is joining Fallout for season 3. And I guess, I don't know. I actually don't know what the discourse or consensus was for season 2. People probably said it wasn't as good as season 1 because that's usually how this works. So it would also be Aaron Paul joining Jonathan Nolan, Lisa Joy dystopian sci-fi show in the 3rd season after a disappointing 2nd season.
I don't feel like. So here's the thing: I still haven't seen Fallout season 2. No real reason, just life. It's on the agenda, but what I felt like was people were still enjoying it. It didn't get like the buzz was lower, but it wasn't like, Westworld season 2 had a very specific like, hey, this is too convoluted now.
Also, it came about when people were still covering television. The television coverage is very different now. So what people weren't going to be obsessing over Fallout the same way, even though it's weekly, right? It's the best opportunity the show has, but it's not going to. TV coverage is not going to be like it was 15 years ago, right? Or even 10 years ago or 5 years ago, even. So,
yeah, but it is very funny that obviously that they're bringing him on at the same point in the show's life. But he's great, and I'm all for Aaron Paul working and being in more stuff. I remember when they brought him out for Westworld at Comic-Con in Hall H. It was a big moment. Yeah,
I watched Westworld all the way to the end, and how it ended
same.
crazily, and I was like, you never need to watch this show, but you do need to watch the recap. And I had my girlfriend watch, like, someone did a 15-minute recap of all seasons, and she's like, what the hell is happening?
I'd actually be curious to watch it because, again, I watched it all too. I know it went in a lot of strange places, and
it's crazy, but it's crazier when it's condensed. So
of course, because you just say this is like when I'll like when listener of the friend of the pod Jonah Krakow, who will probably hear me say this, like when Jonah and I were waiting for I had hours to wait to get on a train to get back from Prague to Holland, so I told him the Summers family history in X-Men and how Cable is Cyclops' son. And like when you say this shit, just say it. Yeah, it sounds even crazier than like reading it over years. Yeah, when you're just like this, and then this happened, and then this happened, then they're clone of their son from this, and then a daughter from an alternate reality, and
yeah,
made up shit. Yes,
that was a deep cut from life.
That is a deep cut.
It's not a pop culture reference at all.
Jonah will appreciate it.
So I told you how I told my high school friend Mike, about that this guy's brother's band was called Bacchanal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then all through high school, Mike, he just obsessed on it, and sort of like a verbal tick. If he walked past me in the hall, he'd go Bacchanal. So anyway, it became a much larger part of my life than I ever anticipated.
In a way, you're the biggest Bacchanal fan of all.
This tees us up very nicely for the Westworld movie news.
Mm-hmm.
So Westworld is being rebooted, and by that I mean the movie, not like the show we just talked about, which was a reboot / readaptation, reimagining, of the movie. And it's being written by David Koepp, right?
Yeah, you say it, Koepp. Yeah.
Who just loves adapting Michael Crichton shit, I guess. And but it's funny because the trades will report on this, but then something like a Screen Rant, which I was like perusing, is like based the whole thing. First of all, it was way long for a news story because that's what they do. They just like flood it with like superfluous information.
They recap everything ever because they want people stay on the page. So yeah, it goes over everything.
But it was all about, it's like they're rebooting the Westworld TV show. They were so focused that this was a reboot of the TV show. And then they had like a header in the, they separated into sections. They have a little header in there that says, I bet HBO now probably regrets canceling Westworld. I'm like, this has nothing to do with that. Like, obviously Westworld's an IP, but like, this isn't like, oh man, now we should have kept it going because look what they're doing now. It doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make any sense, especially
because
it's
so stupid. Yeah.
I mean, Warner Brothers is making this movie because they're the rights holders, and they're like, okay, we did the TV show, now let's do this.
Yeah. Bad people over there writing stuff. Okay. So any other information about this? They're just making a Westworld movie.
Well, they're making.
We covered it on the podcast. You can listen to us talk about the original movie.
The original movie, yeah. So it's just one of those funny things. It reminds me of. I mean, again, this movie didn't happen, but when Universal was trying to make a Battlestar movie with Bryan Singer, shortly, and this was much closer to when the Ron Moore show ended, and because that show ended up, in its totality is more beloved than Westworld because a lot of people dropped off of Westworld after season 2. But people were like, why are they doing this? We just had this great show. But from Universal's perspective, who also produced the TV show, they're like, well, this TV show helped put Battlestar back in people's minds as like a viable IP. So let's do more, even if it's not that continuity. And so this feels like the same thing because Westworld was dormant for decades, right? You know, there hadn't been anything with Westworld forever. And then suddenly,
and now people know what it is, even if they associate it with the TV show, right? But they understand, they still associate it with probably the first 2 seasons they watched before they dropped off before the 3rd season, which was like a Wild West theme park with crazy robots, right?
Yes. So, and yeah, conceptually people get it. Hiring David Koepp is obviously very funny because look, we talked a lot when we did Westworld, how funny it is that Michael Crichton did 2 stories about high-tech theme parks where the sentient theme park attractions are attack at people and start killing them. And what was his deal with theme parks? And so David Koepp, who not only wrote Jurassic Park, the movie, the screenplay, but has written 2 of the sequels, including the one last year, is now going to be once more adapting the other famous, less famous, but still famous Crichton story about a theme park on, you know, where things start to kill you. So that just seems very funny. Now, the other thing we should mention is the way they reported it is that a very high profile director is circling this project.
Oh, Francois Truffaut.
And the fact that Spielberg has been on record saying, I've never done a Western recently. The fact that this is David Koepp, the fact that this
okay. All right.
It does feel very possible.
It seems like a great next project for after Disclosure Day bombs.
Well, either way,
I'm not picking on him. There's a lot of movies that are going to not do well this summer, but that's fine.
Either way, it sounds like a great Patreon exclusive episode for us to do in the future.
Absolutely. Hey, if you haven't, you can listen to us talk about The Punisher: One Last Kill, the Marvel special that came out this past week. And that is for the Hudson Hawk tier Patreoners. But also you can buy that, and you can buy any of our episodes if you want them commercial free and aren't just blocked by a Patreon tier. You can buy them a la carte too. So if you don't want to actually subscribe to the tier, you can always go back and just, especially if you haven't watched something, if it's like 6 months later, you finally watch a movie we talk about, like in the Hudson Hawks, you can go back, get the episode just on its own. But we did talk about on that episode the wonky, terrible, unfinished VFX shot that made its way in the midst of a lot of great, super cool stunt action, and it kind of takes you out of it a bit. And you mentioned the audio issues you and others were having that I did not experience.
Yes.
But now they are, I guess Marvel is fixing and patching the audio issues. Are they going to fix that VFX shot?
I don't know if they're fixing that shot, it was funny because THR did this article about that shot being called out, which is silly I don't know. Look, it is silly because actually someone brought it up on Discord and other people was like, I didn't even notice it. So and I didn't notice it in passing the first time. Now, when you GIF it out, of course, it's like, oh yeah, that's pretty bad.
I mean, I without seeing the GIF, I noticed it. So I was one of the ones who did. But again, I didn't care either, ultimately.
Because it's 10 seconds in the middle of this whole special. So it's like, and obviously in the internet era, people will glom onto that. Like, people will literally be like, how can you like this when it has this shot in it? Because nothing else matters. Like, that's the only thing, this flaw. Now, THR's article was funny because they did end up, it became a whole like, hey, we have to unravel this. The fact that is actually a real on-set stunt where they did a face swap, which is very typical. It just wasn't done well.
Which is funny, which is why we brought up the Titanic hallway scene, which is it's a face swap. Yeah. So.
Yes. But it was obviously not done with the care and it needed to, which is too bad. But the other thing that they did talk about was the audio issues, which I was glad to hear, like, yeah, that was like a real thing. I put Marvel here, but it's really Disney Plus, who on Twitter have been replying to people because so many people were tagging them saying, what's wrong with the audio? And just saying we are aware and we're working on it. It just seemed like something was off with like the mix. Something was strange where the dialogue was very low, very muffled. No one mentioned it, that I didn't get a press screener, but no one I knew had a press screener. So it seemed like there was something with the way it was put onto Disney Plus. So hopefully, even I don't know, we're doing this on Friday. Have they fixed it by now? If not, hopefully it'll be soon. But I was just glad to hear I wasn't crazy, Matt. I wasn't a crazy person.
I could have told you you're not crazy.
Thank you.
And then you just added here, I saw while we were doing this, Matt Reeves Batman 2 updates. Matt Reeves has did he announce it? I don't know. But
No, he did. Matt Reeves, this was interesting because Matt Reeves, dormant on Twitter, except when the Clayface trailer came out because he EP on it, and he did very kind of cursory, like, here's the trailer. But he really seemed, and maybe it's because it's taken so long for this movie to happen, and everyone, to the point that people are like, this movie isn't happening. Some people were like, this is never happening. But suddenly this week, Matt Reeves felt like an impish little prankster because he started to tweet out cool camera tests of like the Batmobile.
Well, we actually talked about it in the last news thing with the snow stuff, right? Yeah.
Yes. And then he started to do the cast rundown, which was he kept doing like, I can't remember if he was saying see you, he kept saying friendo. He kept saying like see you soon, friend, or welcome back, friend, which was basically the people that we would assume were in it. Although in a couple cases you wouldn't be absolutely sure, is this actor going to be back? Because it was not only was it like, Pattinson, Andy Serkis, Jeffrey Wright, but like Jamie Lawson, whose stock has risen a lot because of Sinners. She's back as the mayor. She was also in Penguin, so I'd expect her to be.
What's her name? Bella Reeve? Wait, Bella what?
Bella Real, I can't remember.
Real.
Yeah,
Bella Real.
yeah.
That's right.
And if you're a fan of Officer Martinez, he's back. So he's like,
hell yeah.
And then he confirmed, it was the official confirmation of Sebastian Stan, Charles Dance, and Scarlett Johansson he used shots from other movies they've been in.
That's the thing is that he put a GIF, and this was a big confusing thing because he put a GIF for ScarJo from Under the Skin.
Yes.
And people took that. So like, it's funny because IGN, when they reported on it and put it on socials, they said first look, they mistook it. They didn't know it was from Under the Skin. So they said first look at ScarJo from Batman 2. And they had that as the thumbnail. And I'm like, this is her as a fucking alien, you twats. Anyway, so they deleted it. But yes, it was weird because everyone was like, isn't this Under the Skin? Which is weird because it's like, wow, way more people know Under the Skin than I realize on this guy or Twitter. So
I get, if you don't know that movie, it'd be confusing because yes, it was all like, him taking pictures of like on monitors, the screen tests, or not screen, the camera tests, and shots from the first movie for the returning cast, so that when he mixed in, and he purposely picked like dark looking movies that would look like, the Batman-esque for these shots. So it was funny that, that would throw people. But I was glad he picked Under the Skin. But there were two actual like news because people that were, the trades had not broken yet, which was Sebastian Koch.
And, I'm going to say Cock because
that's what I said.
Who is he? I don't know this guy. I know the other dude.
I recognize him, but I don't like know him offhand. He was in Bridge of Spies and he was in Homeland.
Well, I'll say this. It says he is a German television and film actor, hence the name, which makes me think fucking Victor Fries. There you go.
Oh shit, we gotta talk in a second about Big Bang Theory, about the Stewart
show. You did
yeah.
Text me, so we have to talk about this.
But Brian Tyree Henry, who's great, and he's part of the Spider-Verse. He's part of the Batverse. He's
part of the Godzilla verse. Yeah.
But like everyone, I'm excited this movie is actually happening because it has been a long road to getting this sequel happening. And it was funny because, Matt Reeves, he started tweeting. I think I mentioned on the last one, he was replying to people. He was like, he just seemed like, it felt like he was like, hee, like sitting with, like just really psyched on his phone. Like, yes, I'm actually.
Sounds like Matt Reeves to me.
Making this movie. Classic Reeves.
I'm looking up German Batman characters. I'm like, is Victor Fries? Could it be Hugo Strange? Could it be Berlin Batman? Who's this fucker?
That sounds like an Elseworlds.
I'm all for that. Anyway, we don't know who he's playing, but yes, please talk about this Big Bang Theory spinoff because I don't want to. But yes,
I just look again.
I feel like we did bring it up already because
we talked about its existence. Yeah. Just look again. We are not Big Bang Theory people, and like the Big Bang Theory, 12 seasons. See Max Greenfield, pathetic 8. That's a blip on the radar. 12-season show that has made Warner Brothers a fortune. It is such a giant, massive hit. It's the syndication. It's like still one of the last shows that made so much money being sold to cable, and just insane. And this will be its third spinoff, so the fourth series in the franchise. And they've changed formats. Like I know this from afar. Like Young Sheldon, the fact that it changed to a single camera, wasn't a but then George and Mandy goes back to being 3-camera sitcom with an audience. So they're all over the place with that stuff. But the fact that this new show is both, it's single camera, but also conceptually the fact that Stuart fails to save the universe, which, the trailer is out now. The first show in this franchise,
and this guy isn't even like one of the core big bangers, which is probably why they got him for a lot less money, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, he was.
I'm like, he's not the fivesome. He's not like one of the main five.
He was
right?
a supporting character. He was supporting. Yeah. He's a Chachi, but yeah, But the fact that Kevin Sussman, Wet Hot American Summers, Kevin Sussman, but the fact that this show is literally a multiverse apocalyptic show. It's a comedy, but the fact that it literally is about the universe has ended and that there are like creatures and crazy shit going on. It's just so utterly bizarre. Zach Penn is one of the co-creators, someone who we've done a lot of movies that he has been a screenwriter on. Ready Player One being the most recent, but X-Men, Hulk, Avengers, all these things he's worked on. So anyway, just so strange. But in the trailer, in the middle of a million other what the fuck is happening, appears to be Mr. Freeze. It looks like a pretty good Mr. Freeze costume, but it looks like, and Big Bang Theory, they were comic book nerds because Warner Brothers produced a show. They would dress like, DC heroes. They'd have a lot of DC stuff on camera, but apparently maybe they end up in a universe where Mr. Freeze is real. Who the fuck knows? But by the way, Danny Elfman did the themes to this, I see. So just a weird
look.
A weird swing. It's just
I will let people look. If you're gonna watch it, that's fine. If you like the Big Bang Theory, that's also fine. Look, we're not here to completely shit on things, but I would just say watch Future Man instead on Hulu. Just watch if you want like a raunchy dystopian apocalyptic time travel comedy, watch Future Man.
I mean, I don't know, I might be curious to check this one out, Matt. I gotta tell you.
All right, you report back to me or don't. Either way,
it's pretty strange. By the way, I do like to read that Kevin Sussman, the star of this show, was he was part of the main cast on Big Bang for season 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He was recurring 2 through 5. He was recurring in 7. So a lot of back and forth.
What if there is a possibility that this could be this spinoff with its bizarre concept and its format change and everything is markedly better than the original show?
Sure.
What if it's hilarious? What if it's great and funny? What if it's the Andor of the Big Bang Theory universe?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe it will be. And so for the only comparison I saw people make this as far as how do we get from here to here is Mork and Mindy, because yes, Mork and Mindy was technically a spinoff of Happy Days. But the funny thing about that is if you watch that Happy Days episode where Fonzie meets an alien, it's a dream at the end. At the end of that episode. But then because Robin Williams popped, they're like, what if we do a show about this character he dreamt about? So there was still a strange.
I mean, the fact that the series Mork and Mindy itself didn't end with Fonzie waking up is a huge missed opportunity.
That's true. That is absolutely true.
Fucking Newhart style. So let's get to this other TV show casting. We've talked about it multiple times. The Ryan Coogler X-Files reboot series that has amazing people that we like, but is now adding Amy Madigan, Oscar winner for Weapons. Amy Madigan, been in the business for decades. Amy Madigan.
But these are we should say these are guest stars. So these are
so it's the way that X-Files has its Case of the Week stuff. These are people that aren't she's not the new Skinner, is what we're saying.
Right.
Also Steve Buscemi and Ben Foster. So it's funny when this is from Deadline that I'm picking this because specifically they always have to put a property before the name. So it's interesting what they choose. Obviously, Weapons Oscar winner Amy Madigan makes sense.
Sure.
Wednesday's Steve Buscemi, I guess it's the most. Is it always the most recent?
I don't know. Yeah.
Because then it's Christie's Ben Foster. Now, I watched Christie, the Sydney Sweeney biopic, the boxer biopic. And he was a terrible person in that. He's a terrible, abusive man in that. But like, I don't know. Did anyone see Christie besides me? Like,
that is very strange. And then there are several other actors, some of whom I don't recognize their name offhand, but the couple that I do are Lachlan Monroe, who's obviously been around forever. He was in Scary Movie, and then more recently he's on Riverdale, but he's definitely a very familiar face. And but then Devery Jacobs, the lead from Reservation Dogs, who was also in Echo, and was also voice of that original character on What If. She'll be popping up here as well. So I do hope, when they do these things that like they also, and this is obviously coming from someone who is the child of a actress who was not famous. Hopefully they cast other people that are, less recognizable, because if you go back and watch X-Files, it's one of those shows that's always fun where it's like, hey, it's, young Jack Black and Anthony Rapp and like all these people.
And of course, Bryan Cranston, which would lead to the Vince Gilligan collab, right?
So yeah. But I think that this show is obviously going to be a very hot property, and this makes sense. Are they filming it in Vancouver like the original? Lachlan Monroe makes me think it's likely it might be, but I'm not sure about that.
And don't forget that the leads are Hamish Patel and Danielle Deadwyler, who was great on Rooster, which just wrapped up, and we already talked about it's getting a season 2. Okay. Now we have one write-in, and it's actually, you mentioned Ready Player One already, but let's bring back Ready Player One because as for those who listened last week, we traumatized our dear devoted listener Kermit with our disapproval of Ready Player One, a book and movie that he loves. So he was very sad to hear us rag on it. And it is possible that I think you mentioned in your second or your reviewing for this podcast, you were more down on it than you were when you originally saw it. I think I was too. Again, though, harmless movie. It's fun if you want it to be fun, and that's fine. Like, again, like it just we just felt sort of like it was for whatever reason, it was an extra pile on this time. But Curtis writes in, if it's any consolation, I hated Ready Player One when I watched it and thought I was weird for it. I was pleased to hear you guys articulate so many of the things that bugged me about the movie. It made me feel better knowing, it wasn't just me. Apologies to Kermit. So there you go.
But Kermit, like what you like. But yeah, look, Ready Player One. I think especially, because also we were doing a Spielberg run, who has just made so many amazing movies. That's the other thing. Is like Ready Player One always had the onus, even when it was being made, of like feeling from the get go that this was going to be a lesser movie from one of our. It was also filmmakers.
Had that we talked about it, how Spielberg doing it. Being the one to do it was incestuous in a way. So like,
well, self-congratulatory in a strange way. But on the other hand, I get enjoying Ready Player One. I'm not like, how can you enjoy it? Because there are things that can be definitely enjoyable in that movie. And as I said last time, if I revisit it, in a few years again, who's to say? Maybe I'll once again swerve around to enjoying it more.
Okay. That's the only write-in I believe we have
to you, Yanni, Mr. Yanni.
Well, you know what? I'm weighed down by the world, and a lot's going on that I have no control over. So sometimes my body reacts with an exhale.
Valid.
Hey, what's your recommendation, Eric?
I don't really have one because I got ahead of myself with Obsession last week. So
that's true because it opens this weekend. So
yes, Obsession is in theaters this weekend. It's great. It's bleak. So think about that, and if you're very, very sensitive to animal death, also be aware of that.
Oh no! And also don't watch The Punisher: One Last Kill.
Yes, but it's fantastic and amazing. Lead actress performance that's going to make Indy Navarrete, if I'm saying her name right, a star, and you should check it out.
So last week you also recommended The Sheep Detectives, and this week I am recommending a movie that I'd been wanting to see for a few years because it came out in 2020, sort of buried in the midst of COVID. Also, it's not like a huge high-profile movie anyway, but this is The Kid Detective, which I thought was immensely enjoyable. Really, really dug this movie, and I'd always heard heard good buzz around this movie, and the biggest star in this is Adam Brody, obviously. So for fans of the OC and stuff like that, you know him. He was on a movie we did, right, which was, what was the killer movie with I can't remember the name of the actress or the movie. So
well,
this is all terrible.
we've done Jennifer's Body on this.
That's it, Jennifer's Body.
Yeah.
He was in that, and also Sophie Nellis, if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, who's from Yellow Jackets. But anyway, this is it is at its heart a murder mystery movie, but it's interesting mashup of tones, because there's it's almost like a Wes Anderson mixed a little with a Rian Johnson. And I don't mean Rian Johnson because of like the Knives Out stuff. I mean more like a Brick, right? Like a modern noir take, because it's about a former famed kid detective, like an Encyclopedia Brown, beloved by his town, right? Like the junior mysteries you would read, where it's just like the case of the missing library book or something like that. And in his youth, he was the town detective who solved crimes like who robbed the candy store and who cheated on this and that, until the day comes when one of his classmates and friends, girl, disappears. And he doesn't know who did it. The police won't involve him with it, because normally the cop's like, hey, who do you think, like, you know, threw a shoe at Mrs. O'Brien or something like that. But they don't involve him. But all of his classmates are like, we're counting on you to find her. And he can't. And so it leads to sort of a spiral of disgrace into his adulthood, where his grown life is way more sort of like dour and depressed. And he's a substance abuser, and he never got back on track. And until a new mystery comes along, a new murder mystery, which he decides he's going to try to solve. But like, the kid detective parts of the movie are very much like in tone of a style of like kid detective stuff, contrasted with the modern life that he's living now. I just love this movie. I thought it was great. Anyway.
No, I've heard really good things about this movie, and I'd like to check it out. It sounds like it's probably a more successful version of Mystery Team. Did you ever see that?
I did watch Mystery Team. That was the sketch group that Donald Glover was a part of, right?
Right. And it was the similar idea.
Except they kept the comedic tone going through all of the movie, right?
The idea was that they were a Scooby Gang-esque group of kid detectives who've now grown up and are once more trying to. But it didn't quite land. I mean, it had its moments, but it wasn't great. But I've heard nothing but good things about Kid Detective, and I shall seek it out.
I don't know where it's streaming. I had previously bought it on a whim on Vudu, now Fandango at home. So I just owned it and I hadn't watched it yet. So the way to screen it is on my server. There you go.
Just hack into Matt.
But yeah, it's from a writer-director named Evan Morgan, who really hasn't done things since. He had done he's a Canadian filmmaker and screenwriter, and I hope he does more stuff. This got some accolades in 2021 in Canada, but other than that, he hasn't done anything else as far as I can tell at my cursory glance here. But he should do more. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I'll endorse that, even though I haven't even seen the movie.
All right. That's what we got going this week. Hey, the internet lasted. What do you know?
We did it.
We did it, everyone. Okay. Until next. Oh, and please write in if you've got Bourne thoughts, like Jason Bourne stuff.
Yes.
We're headed into.
Especially you can weigh in on Matt and I's big Conklin Abbott debate.
Sure.
Is it the greatest part of any movie
Is
ever?
it the real heart of the movie,
right?
And not the amnesiac bonehead, or should it be people in chairs tracking him? Is that what really puts butts in seats? You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Conklin prequel. That's all I'm saying.
Man, that's a packed house. An ass every 18 inches. Let me tell you. Okay, so we're Bourne Ultimatum is next, the third movie bit. So we were already at the third movie out of 5. And until next time, every
you're almost there.
Is anything possible? I mean,
I don't know, man.
Anything is possible except me saying this sentence and Shakma.
Shakma.
Shakma!